My name's Jay Davids, and I worked on a dealer management system at Leisure Time Honda Suzuki. Basically, it's just they got a computer system to try to automate everything they did. Everything previously was done by hand. What is Leisure Time Honda Suzuki? It's a motorcycle ATV dealership in Corey, Pennsylvania. They have Hondas and Suzukis, obviously, in Cannondales, primarily focused in the off-road area of the ATV industry. We also sell many parts and accessories, which all this has to be incorporated into the dealer system. My history at Leisure Time, I've worked there for about 2 years. I started working November of 1999. I assisted in implementing the dealer management system last year. I decided to do my MIS 336 project, kind of create a database for the parts inventory and a little bit of the service history. And I got into it and did my project, and they realized the opportunities that there were out there, and they actually went out and bought a software package that not only did what I had created, but so much more. We went live with it on January 1st, and the employees at the dealership had been there for several years. So they pretty much had everything ahead, and there was a lot of resistance to the new system. So there's kind of a gradual implementation going on, and then toward the middle of this summer, we kind of had a little tragedy, and the general manager passed away. And immediately after that, we had another employee leave, and another one, well, actually 2 employees left, one for different reasons than the other. But basically, we had an entire turnover of our staff. So I talked with the owners, and we figured there's no better time to rush the implementation of everything we've been doing than right now. Some interesting things that I've been able to do just through the implementation of this system is I traveled to Indianapolis to meet with the software people. I also got to travel to Salt Lake City for training. As of this year, this semester, when the official internship started, I had a bunch of duties. The one thing I did a lot is stare at things and dream. There's a lot of things that I enjoy at the motorcycle dealership, and that's part of why I enjoyed the experience so much. The first thing that I did this year was I set up a workstation. When we had the big turnover of employees, we hired an administrative assistant to take care of all the paperwork. All the paperwork, well, previously was done by hand, and in the past few years there's been a lot of state government regulations and financing forms that it's gotten to be quite a task to do paperwork on a new motorcycle or ATV. Also, simpler forms. I created receipt forms to print out of a receipt printer whenever we sell any, like just general parts or accessories, and major unit tags to go on every major unit. Some more duties that I did was software updates. Lightspeed NXT is the name of the software, and they're continually fixing errors on the software and sending out new versions. So you have to do that. Now with the new system, you just click on the make, which Honda ATV, which would be a 400EX ATV, then 400EX. And then I just type in gasket, and it'll show me all the gaskets. I click on the one that I think I need, and it brings up that picture. If that's not the right picture, you can go right through the pictures, but it's so much simpler than it used to be going on the old system. I also had several daily tasks. Troubleshooting, basically, you name it, there's troubles, not because there's big troubles, but no one there is computer literate at all. If there's a printing error, everything shuts down till I can help them out. And also finding answers. Our accountant has a lot of, she's a very inquisitive lady. There's several built-in functions of the system that you can change, like little boxes in a sales deal. You can change the title of them depending on what the dealer prefers, but there's also a lot of things that can't be changed, just as any packaged software. And she has trouble understanding that. That's one thing that I have trouble explaining to her, is you can't change this. And she says, well, why? You can change this. And it gets frustrating, but that's part of the job. Also, many of the tasks that I do is I'll sell parts, help sell machines, interact with customers. I try to stay to my computer as much as possible, but you're sitting there and there's customers out there that need help. I feel awful guilty. I also generated several reports. This is one of used units, used inventory. Basically, it's in order by manufacturer, and then it's sorted by by number of days in inventory. Also on report generation, there were several canned reports that came with the system. Unfortunately, well, many of them had very useful things. Unfortunately, the Lightspeed NXT, not only is it made for motorcycle dealerships, it's also made for RV and boat dealerships. So a lot of the reports, they'll have useful information, but they'll also have a lot of blank information like unit length. I basically redid a lot of those reports and put in the blank area, I put in information that was useful to us. Also sales reports. One thing everyone always asks is how many have we sold for the month, how much have we made, what have our margins been? Nobody really knew before. So I made some sales reports that they show a quantity we've sold. Another thing that's important is what brand. Is it a Honda, is it a Suzuki, a Cannondale, is it new, is it used? So I sort them by brand, by new and used, and then you show margin and the profitability of each deal, because if you're selling a lot of machines not making any money, you might want to the owners might want to talk to the salespeople and see what's going on. In my spare time at home, there was a website for Leisure Time that was created just before I started there. It hadn't been updated since. What I did is I updated all the links, and I had to update all the pictures on the pages as well because they were referencing old machines. Lessons learned, well, first they taught me a couple of the tricks on my bike there, you can see. But I wish. Basically everything I've talked about I learned. I haven't had any networking class yet. My only web experience was using AOL Press and MIS 204. And I worked with cash drawers, strip printers, dot matrix printers, things that I've really never experienced. Obviously working with the database or the system of Lightspeed was quite similar to several other systems that I've used, but as far as all the hardware and all the things that went into it, it was different for me. Being the only computer literate person there, people were coming to me for questions, and I had to do some thinking on my feet, but also a lot of times I had to go bury myself in the manuals and on the websites and try and figure out what is the answer, and then try to explain it to them in a manner that they'll understand. So people skills were definitely important there. And that's about all I have. Are there any questions?
Dear God, surround me as I speak. Bridges that I walk across, I will.